Good, happy Tuesday evening, January 28th, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday evening, so let's begin. First up, Trump team wrapping up trial defense as Senators Mull, Bolton. Let's take a listen to that video from WHDH 7 News.
In President Trump's impeachment trial, a possible setback for the president's case just hours after his legal team finished up the opening argument.
And this battle over witness testimony is far from over. 7's Dan Housley live on Capitol Hill. Dan.
Well, Kim and Adam, here on Capitol Hill after the shortened session today, the senators, the Republicans, met behind closed doors to talk about how this case is going to work going forward. The Associated Press and the Washington Post reporting that McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, told his senators that he doesn't have the votes right now to stop witnesses from being voted in by the Democrats along with some Republican votes. Now, that would be handled on Friday. There's still a lot of time to go, but even in today's presentation by the president's defense team, the question of witnesses, particularly John Bolton, came up.
It is not a game of leaks and unsourced manuscripts. That's politics, unfortunately.
The president's lawyers wrapping up his opening argument, taking direct shots at the leaked book manuscript from former National Security Advisor John Bolton that some Democrats call a smoking gun.
Are you going to allow proceedings on impeachment to go from a New York Times report about someone that says what they hear is in a manuscript? Is that where we are?
Bolton reportedly claims President Trump told him directly in August the hold on nearly $400 million in military aid to Ukraine was linked to investigations into his political rivals, which undermines a key pillar of the president's impeachment defense. Democrats say there's no way the Senate can avoid calling Bolton as a witness now, even if it delays the trial for weeks. Should they say, look, we know where it's going, so let's wrap it up?
I don't think we can do that. I think we have to do what's best for the country, and that's getting to the truth, and hopefully this will get figured out soon.
Democrats need 4 Republicans to join them in order to subpoena new witnesses like Bolton. 3 senators so far appear to be leaning that way, including Senator Mitt Romney.
It's increasingly likely that other Republicans will join those of us who think we should hear from John Bolton.
There's some talk of senators agreeing to some kind of limited witness swap. The Democrats have repeatedly said such a trade, say Hunter Biden for John Bolton, is off the table.
Hunter Biden's not on trial. This is clearly an attempt to feed red meat to their base, but also red herrings to take us away from the central issue.
The president's defenders say if Democrats get John Bolton, he won't be the last witness the Senate hears from.
People want witnesses. We're going to get a lot of witnesses. This idea of calling 1 and 1 makes 0 sense to me.
And you've got a lot of suggestions going out here other than just calling John Bolton. There's the question of witness swaps we talked about, but also some of the Republicans are saying, let's go into the classified SCIF and get a look at Bolton's manuscript and what he actually says in his proposed book before deciding whether or not he should be actually called as a witness. Democrats say that idea is a non-starter. We're live on Capitol Hill. Dan Housley, 7 News.
Thanks for the update, Dan. Stay with the news.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Health officials await test results on 2 potential New Hampshire coronavirus cases. Patient at Littleton Regional Hospital doing well, doctors say. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Cold and harsh conditions can make your winters brutal. As of this moment, the case is still a suspected case.
The person currently under observation at Littleton Regional Hospital is a 19-year-old man who returned from Wuhan, China on January 6th. The man, who's a student at White Mountain School, was admitted to the hospital last Thursday.
We were concerned about him because of his travel history, and his symptoms kind of pointed to a suspected case of this novel coronavirus.
But those symptoms, which included a fever, were mild.
He had what would be considered by the general public almost like a bad cold.
Because of that travel, though, the hospital immediately put him in isolation, which included placing him in a negative pressure room.
A negative pressure room is a room that when the door opens, air rushes in. It does not go out. So any respiratory droplets or the air in the room does not mix with the general air.
Hospital officials say any members of the staff dealing with the patient were protected by special gowns and masks, but the patient didn't require much in the way of treatment.
He didn't require oxygen, he didn't require any medication, he didn't require any other respiratory therapy at all.
Hospital officials want to assure people that their safety is of paramount concern and that there's little to worry about in this case.
The community and the visitors to our facility have been at virtually zero risk of contracting this disease from him.
As far as the other person being tested, state health officials have not said where that person is being treated, just that they recently traveled to China and also being kept in isolation. Reporting live in Concord, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. CDC to screen passengers for coronavirus at Boston Logan International Airport. Quarantine stations to be activated at numerous ports of entry. Let's take a listen to that video from WCVB Boston.
Bernie Sanders is on our side and always has been, fighting to protect a woman's right to choose.
Logan is on the list, but Massport officials tell me that they still have not been contacted by the CDC, so that ramped-up screening has not yet begun. Inside Terminal E today, we did see travelers wearing masks as a precaution. Now, these are passengers coming in from numerous countries, not just China. Logan does have a quarantine station here all the time, and they use it as necessary. But in this case, CDC personnel will be on site carefully screening any incoming passengers who appear sick and quarantining them if necessary. Now, we just heard from one passenger who is flying to Vietnam via Hong Kong.
Most of my friends and my family, they're really concerned about this, and right now it's makes me a little bit worried about that.
And moments ago, we did see what appeared to be Massport staffers reporting for duty here in Terminal E wearing face masks. By the way, according to the Centers for Disease Control website, the CDC has the legal authority to detain and quarantine anyone who may have an infectious disease, and that can include admitting you to a hospital or confining you to your home for a period of time. If you do not cooperate with the CDC, they can deny you entry into the country. We're going to have more on what's happening here at Logan coming up on News Center 5 at 6.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Lawsuit filed against Central Maine Power over winter disconnection notices. Let's take a listen to that video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
Bernie Sanders is on our side and always has been, fighting to protect a woman's right to choose.
Civil filing currently includes 3 customers, but attorneys representing those customers say they soon hope it'll be more.
It creates a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress.
Jolene Mitchell of Casco, bringing her issues with Central Maine Power to Cumberland County Court Tuesday.
What we're filing today is a complaint in the name of 3 CMP customers.
An attorney helping them file a civil lawsuit against CMP, claiming the company sent disconnect notices during the winter months, something the Public Utilities Commission is already investigating the utility for, saying PUC approval is required to disconnect any customer between November 15th and April 15th. Some said their notices indicated CMP didn't need PUC approval.
We believe that the regulations are clear that CMP is required to get Public Utilities Commission approval before they seek to disconnect a residential customer during the protected winter period.
Jolene says she wasn't even getting bills before her disconnect notices arrived.
After 2 years of not receiving bills from CMP, I disputed a disconnect notice that I got in November that said that I owed a tremendous amount of money.
CMP responded Tuesday saying, quote, "It is very concerning that collections communications to customers may have gone out with language that was confusing and misleading. We have commenced an internal investigation into the issue and are cooperating fully with the PUC's investigation into this matter." The PUC had given CMP until Tuesday to explain any wrongful notices. The Commission will meet on CMP's vast metering and billing investigation on Thursday. In Portland, Joe Glauber, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Tuesday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Tuesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the red and went down. Oil closed in the green and went up. US 10-year closed flat. EUR/USD closed flat. And VIX closed in the red and went down. Dow rallies more than 180 points, rebounding from its worst day since October. Stocks rose on Tuesday following the market's biggest sell-off in more than 3 months as investors grapple with lingering fears over a possible coronavirus outbreak. Fugitive parents found in Hawaii. Child still missing. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
New developments involving missing siblings from Idaho. Their mother, but not the children, has been found by authorities in Hawaii, and they are giving her until Thursday to bring the children forward. In here with the story. Good morning, Amy.
That's right. Good morning, George. And officials say there is no evidence that those children were ever in Hawaii. The mom, Lori Vallow, and her husband, Chad Daybell, skipped town after police came looking for her missing children.
This is the moment authorities catch up with Lori Vallow, the Idaho mother whose children have been missing for months, searching her car and serving her with a court order to physically produce her 2 kids and take them to officials immediately.
Where are your children?
Vallow's children, 17-year-old Tylee Ryan and 7-year-old JJ, haven't been seen since September. Police doubling down, previously saying they strongly believe the children are in danger and that Vallow either knows what happened to them or where they are and is refusing to help.
To see her with the attitude that she displayed in that video is totally beyond disgusting.
Lori and her husband, Chad Daybell, left Idaho in November, just 1 day after police conducted a welfare check looking for the kids. Police tracking the couple down in Hawaii this weekend, thousands of miles away from their home in Idaho, serving them with the order and searching the vehicle. East Idaho News was there.
Can you tell me where your kids are? Where are your kids? No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
Lori and Chad were married last year. Authorities looking at the recent sudden deaths of multiple family members. In July, Lori's ex-husband Charles Vallow was murdered by her brother. At the time, police claimed the killing was self-defense. That same brother of Lori's was found dead right before Christmas. Authorities have yet to release a cause. And it's not just Lori's side of the family. This past October, Chad's former wife, Tammy Daybell, died at her home. At first ruled natural causes, her remains have been exhumed.
And the sheriff now says they are suspicious that her death was not natural. They're waiting for the autopsy results. Meanwhile, the children's grandparents are begging for their safe return, and police, through any of the evidence they gathered in Hawaii, say there was no evidence that those kids were ever with their mother.
Listen,
and as you say, it's a simple question.
Where are your kids? If you can't answer that, and they've been missing all this time, I don't know what they're giving her till Thursday to...
Yep, we will see what happens on Thursday for sure.
Wow.
Baffling. Wow. All right. Thank you so much, Amy.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this Tuesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and bye, everyone.